Hey man, it's Phil X, and you're watching Guitar Tales with Dave Cohen. And Guitar Tales, guitar tales. Like, what else do you need, right? Guitar. We're geeks, nerds, gear, inspirations, positive vibes. Look out.
We have such a fun show tonight, and we're really going to take a deep dive into the connection, because it's almost Halloween, into the connection between rock and roll and horror movies. We'll talk a lot about heavy metal and all of those connections. It's going to be a lot of fun. And before I even talk about our sponsors, I got to say, Scott, Guitar Assist Angle, that opening graphic, he is an artist. Scott is literally an artist. Like, he paints, he does other artistic things. But that was fantastic. I didn't know that was coming. I think he surprised me with it. But before we get into everything else, and our great guest, Kel Pilshaw, who's a friend of the show, who has jammed with Scott many, many times, a fabulous musician, an insightful guy, we have to pay the bills. So let's talk about our fabulous, fabulous sponsors. Confections of a Rock Star. I will be in Asbury Park this weekend to go see Scott and his band play. That's going to be fantastic. And I will stop by Confections of a Rock Star, and I will do dessert first. Then I will get a special dessert for my dog, a pupcake, and then after I chat with Alice Cooper, is he going to be there? There he is. After I chat with Alice Cooper, I will get a delicious burger at Little Andy's at the same place. Check this out. Look at that. So good. Little kids, little burgers, big burgers. Same building, same place. Get your dessert, get your meal. Fantastic. And now, without further ado, let's bring Scott in. And Scott, I want you to talk about your concept, because this was your concept to put this together, and I'm excited about it.
My concept, it's my concept because I love rock music and I love horror movies. So I thought to myself, boy, if there's only another guy that was passionate about horror movies as rock and roll as I am, and the decision was very easy. I brought in Kel, who played bass with the Smoking Jackets many times, and also, does his own thing with Mr. Lovejoy, is the other cover band he plays with in the New Jersey area here. Very popular, very talented bunch of fellas. So I approached him with the ideas like, I don't know what to talk about. I don't know what to do. I'm like, and then we had a 20-minute conversation about what we don't know what to talk about. Obviously,
Right.
We didn't know what to talk about. We did a show.
Aaron, Aaron would say, you're doing a show. Stop.
We did a show. We're talking about, oh yeah, what about this? What about that? What about this? So I think it'll be organically fun to talk about all this stuff. And I this time of year, I ramp up my horror movie watching, which drives my wife crazy. But I watch all the old classics, and I watch
Abbott and Costello were the best.
Cheap stuff. Yeah. And I'll tell you, if I had 6 fingers like that Chiller Theater guy, maybe I'd be a better guitar player. I don't know. So why don't we bring Kel in and talk about some horror movies and rock and roll and so forth. Let me see if we can bring him in here. Here we go. There he is. All the way from New Jersey.
That's right.
How are you guys doing?
Good. Good evening.
Fantastic.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Who said that, Dave?
Boris Karloff. Bela Lugosi.
I was thinking of Alfred Hitchcock.
Alfred Hitchcock.
He used to say good evening.
Young Frankenstein too.
Yes.
I'm sure but I do in there many times.
An Alfred Hitchcock impression.
He had a weight problem. He was not on the Wegovy.
No, he was not.
A lot of people did not know this.
No.
So Kel and I are, even when it's not Halloween time, we're always saying, hey, you got to watch this horror movie. You got to watch this horror TV show, constantly sharing things back and forth. I try to watch all his suggestions, but I got to say, he sends me a lot more suggestions.
That's pretty cool.
A lot more.
I have a starting point. Can I just jump in?
Yeah.
It just popped in my head. Rick Wakeman and his cape is like Dracula.
A cape is definitely part of the Dracula costume, no doubt.
And
he's Phantom of the Opera, you know?
Yeah. And Rick Wakeman, he wears a cape. And so does a couple of the guys in no, he's the only one in Yes.
Well, Johnny Winter used to wear
he was a cape wearer
now and again, and probably Freddie Mercury. I can imagine him wearing a cape at some point.
Yeah.
I don't know, with a cape, you got to have a huge ego to wear a cape.
You really do.
Yeah, you really got to be like.
I feel like it would get in the way. Just
it would
step on it, you know.
While you're trying to play.
There's some drama there.
Which is something I wanted to touch upon tonight. Being in cover bands, you most of the time you do have a Halloween show. And you're required to dress up. Now with the Smoker Jacks, we got clever a couple of times, and Kel was there with me. We dressed up as the Nerds, which is another local cover band, very popular cover band here, and the Amish Outlaws. But you know, some costumes I see guys wearing are just like so elaborate.
Yes,
and I don't
too
know.
Hot.
Yeah, they're wearing a mask and they're trying to sing here. Trying to sing with a mask on. I mean, what are you thinking? You know. And then your face stays green for 3 or 4 days, you know, because you can't get the makeup off.
I'm a notorious in my band. It's like I'll get just like a small mask. That's it, like a little mask, and I'm like, I'm the Phantom of the Opera now. When the mask comes off,
but you're covering like one eye, and you have loss of one eye vision in one eye.
I'm just like, there's like a small mask on.
Does it have a hole in it at least so you can see?
Yeah.
It? Oh, okay.
I've made that mistake once, and I was like, I guess I do need to look at my hands.
Maybe we'll put a picture up of Guitar Tales alumnus Dave Crum. He had the most elaborate, full mask, all this stuff, and he's still shredding the guitar with all this shit on. I'm like, how in heaven's name are you pulling this off? Dave, did you ever have to wear a mask in any of your bands, your college bands? I don't think so. I'm thinking.
No, but what I really rocked, and you guys might disagree, were high top sneakers, socks a little past my ankles, and OP shorts, which really, I mean, if you were to think of like, you know, the look of rock and roll, I think that kind of captures it.
I remember that, the OP.
Yeah, and they were short shorts, man. And my hairy, skinny legs. Yeah, like I look at my old pictures, and
But you never dressed up in Kiss makeup or any of that shit.
No, I was not a Kiss fan back in college, I will admit. And by the way, you know, since we're chatting about that, Scott and I have made a choice. You know, there's a lot. You know, obviously we extend our condolences to, you know, all Kiss fans, the Kiss Army, most importantly his family. But we're going to wait a little while. We're going to let things settle before we do a show, which we will do. He was a friend of the show. He was on our show about 1.5 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Yes, but we're going to give it some time, and then we'll put something together.
I've been in contact with some of the guys from his band. They're really taking it hard, and you know, last thing I want to say is, hey, come on the show and do it.
Yeah,
you know, it's not going to happen. Let's let things settle down. I'm not a fan of taking to the airwaves right away and doing a video, and you know, it comes off as a little disrespectful, in my opinion, anyway.
Yeah,
even though people are lovingly saying many nice things. But I got to say, after we had our Ace show, there were a lot of haters out there saying awful things about Ace. So at least now, people are saying a lot of nice things about Ace, which is great.
They are. It's true. So, but you know, that's a launching pad, though, because let's talk about, you know, Kiss sort of had, certainly Gene did. They had sort of what one might call a scary look. I mean, no one was really scared of them. But when do we think? Where do we think? How do we think this connection? Because there is one now. There is this intimate connection between certain components of rock and roll and sort of the horror genre, as we call it, or even goth. You know, goth is a rock kind of thing. You guys have any sense of how, when, and where that started?
Jeez. I mean, I think Black Sabbath.
Yeah.
I really think they had songs about the cult on their first record.
Right.
And the name, I think, was just
Yeah, that's true.
yeah,
too.
you know.
Who was
really
the guy?
dark.
Was it Aleister Crowley? Was he the one who owned the mansion in England where a lot of the bands used to hang out? I think it was him.
Yeah.
And
I believe
he
so,
was
yes.
he was a witch, right?
Yeah.
He was a practicing witch.
Warlock.
Yeah.
Or warlock. Yeah. Yeah, right. Yeah. Well, who knows, right? But yeah, so a warlock. So that's what, like probably late 60s.
Yeah, 70s, early 70s.
Even the name Black Sabbath came from an old Boris Karloff movie called Black Sabbath.
Did it
It's
really?
actually very good.
Yeah.
It's actually a very good movie. Yeah.
So that's interesting. So we could end the show now. I think we pinpointed it.
That's it. Kiss and Black Sabbath done.
But it sounds like late 60s, early 70s is when that very sort of fruitful marriage.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like, I mean, all right, so let's do this. Can anyone think of any time in the 50s? I can't.
Except for
It's
the
all
Monster
doo-wop.
Mash song, but that was just like kind of a hokey song, really.
But that was a 70s song, though, I think. Wasn't it?
The Monster Mash? Nah, it's a 1950s song for sure.
Is it?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. I'll look it up while we do it.
Fact check me.
Yeah. I am.
Say it down in the comments. I'm out of my mind.
I mean, Alice Cooper was 70s.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and that's...
You got to think, though, at that time, that critical time, the 60s was so turbulent. To make the decision to have turbulent music also,
I mean,
you know, it could have failed. And, you know,
I
people
know.
are like, I'm tired of all this turbulent stuff. I need some calming music. I don't want to hear anything that's also turbulent. And I certainly don't want to see any visionaries of people getting their heads chopped off like Alice Cooper would do.
Yeah.
I mean,
You know, dancing murders and all this real life horror.
Yeah.
And they come on stage and do more horror. I mean,
yeah.
If I was in a band, I'm like, nah, that's over the top. It's not a good time for that.
You're right.
Art reflects society, you know? And
yeah, that's true too.
When you have the Vietnam War going on, it's like, how do you say no? And, you know, maybe that was Alice Cooper's way.
It might have been.
You know, I you know.
Well, by the way, costumes in general, like, you know, like look at David Bowie and what he was doing with the Starman and all that stuff.
And that's almost there. It's almost in the horror genre. He was a little more fantasy, but he was just about there, like so close to being there. And by the way, I just did fact check. You were pretty much right. Monster Mash, 1962. 62. Okay. Yeah. So I was wrong. I thought it was like one of those, you know, in the 70s, they tried to do a lot of 60s sounding stuff, but you were right. Yeah, that was legitimately in the 60s. But yeah, so it sounds like that whole, this would be too long a Google search, but my memory of it is that a lot of the bands developed this relationship. He had some kind of mansion somewhere in England, and he was a practicing warlock, and he had an influence on like Ozzy and a bunch of them, but they would stay at his place. And I wonder if it's his influence that sort of started that connection, because it's gigantic now.
Yeah. You know, read these books, you know?
Yeah, it's true.
I vaguely remember something in an interview, like they decided to marry, you know, this monster movie, horror movie thing with their music. Like that was a conscious decision.
Well, and then you've got the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's early 70s, I think.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got that, and you got Meatloaf in there. So maybe mid to late, because he was already a bit of a name by then. But Rocky Horror Picture...
broke with that movie, though. Like,
Did he?
I think he was an artist, but I don't think he broke until after it.
Oh, okay.
So I think he was like... Yeah, I mean, same era, same couple.
Right. And that's certainly, they're bringing straight. I mean, it was camp. Obviously, it was a campy movie, but that was a true blending of good rock and roll.
Mm-hmm.
At least a couple of the songs with Tim Curry singing them. I think it was Tim Curry singing.
Yep.
And the rock and roll regalia. but then you had the makeup, on some of the lead characters.
Oh,
But that's
car
where you're
breaking down in front of a haunted house. Come on.
Yeah, right.
It's like,
The oldest trick in the book.
and searing guitar as your background music instead of orchestral music. So they were using searing guitar to build, even though it was campy, they were still using good solid electric guitar to create a scary mood for the movie, even if they're trying to make you laugh at the same time.
And suddenly I just thought of the Beatles for some reason. Like, did they ever do anything that was kind of horror-ish? And I'm like, that baby cover that they originally had for that record with all the chopped up babies was kind of crazy.
Well,
I
got
really
one
out there. And Helter Skelter's pretty heavy too.
Actually, Helter, yeah.
But it wasn't, if people don't know, Helter Skelter wasn't made after the Manson killings. They were sort of made before. And
right.
Manson said that was, he made that part of his
right.
I mean, little mantra.
And I got one here. Look at this. So it's the Stones. Their Satanic Majesty's Request. That was a straight up connecting Satan to rock and roll. That was their answer to the Beatles being, nice guys. Yeah. And that's 1967.
Yeah.
10,000 Light Years from Home. And they had a lot of that sort of ethereal, quasi-scary music going on.
Does anyone remember a pushback or a movement back then where people were saying, I'm not going to let my kids listen to this. Later on they were doing the labels.
My parents didn't let me
records and
have Kiss records.
Playing records backwards playing messages backwards on Led Zeppelin records to hear satanic messages, and I Buried Paul and all that shit.
I Buried Paul. I played that backwards.
It supposedly says cranberry sauce, and I'm telling you right now, that's horse shit. I've listened to it 1,000 times. I hear the words "I Buried Paul."
Oh yeah,
clear as day.
He definitely said it. Yeah,
but you look on the internet and they go, if you look at this word on this side of the screen, you hear sausage, and if you look at this side of the screen, it says breadcrumbs.
That is great.
Or whatever.
That's a good example though of sort of mixing an occultish kind of thing in a very popular rock album. Which album was that? Or which song was it? Strawberry Fields, right?
Yeah.
It was the very end of Strawberry Fields, and they've got the music playing backwards. I think we figured it out. This is all late 60s.
Strange, occulty, kind of weird to throw that in the back end of a song, But that started a whole thing that Paul was really dead, and he was the only barefoot one when they have that iconic picture of them crossing. That he was an alien. He was replacing the real guy. I mean, it really took footing, probably more than flat earthing.
That's right. Well, flat Earth is real, of course. Yeah.
I'm tilting. What's going on here?
Yeah.
Where do you think it really ramped up with this horror? Like, what's the first time you remember hearing like heavy music in a horror film?
So my first memory, besides like Kiss and Alice Cooper, and like looking at the art on album covers. So you see like a Dio album cover. I mean, even like the Scorpions, they might have like violence or some sort of like horror stuff going on. So I think the art was always there. But my first real connection was Anthrax had a song called Among the Living. And in the liner notes, each song had a little like, hey, this is about this. And basically they were like, this song's about Stephen King's The Stand. And so I'm like a freshman in high school, maybe. And now I'm like, I got to get The Stand. So now I'm reading The Stand, which was amazing and terrifying. And it was like the first book I ever read that was like big, like over like 1,000 pages or something. It was insane. And I loved it. And so sometimes these bands were throwing comic books at you. They had lots of stuff with horror movies on those, Slayer, all those bands. And that's the stuff they were consuming. And they were kind of being inspired by it and writing songs about it, you know, and it was kind of, you know, I feel like that was, you know, like we all enjoyed the same stuff. That's why we liked the music. We loved watching the horror movies. We loved all of that.
Right.
So it was, that's where I remember it. Like the 80s, I really think, I mean, the Misfits, you know, like,
right.
like I'm not heavy metal, but everyone that's in metal loves the Misfits, you know?
Right.
And I mean, every one of their songs was inspired by it, like a 1950s, 1960s horror movie.
Yeah.
I mean, so good. So good.
So now we're getting away from just simply a stage show and makeup, and now it's creeping into the actual
content,
content.
The lyrics. Yeah. I mean,
so there's a fascination from certain musicians toward this genre.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And Edgar Winter wrote Frankenstein.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't even think of that. You're right.
Right. But and that was a pretty heavy song for its day.
Yeah.
Really
and I
heavy.
think from the artist perspective, you know, sometimes it's like, you know, a lot of those bands, the heavy metal bands, are kind of, you know, anti-establishment. And so when the establishment is writing, you know, love songs, what's the opposite of a love song? What's the you know, it kind of, you know, this is what we're going to sing about. We're not going to sing about, you know, happy, shiny people or whatever, you know?
Right. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. So they're watching it, they're listening to it, they're reading it, and it influences their music. Then in turn, that influences their presentation, because eventually you've got Alice Cooper. Everyone's wearing dark black leather at some point, you know, and that's a different kind of look. That's sort of a gothy kind of look.
Yep.
And I don't think I'm not really familiar with goth in general, but that's some kind of offshoot of what we're chatting about too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, they're a metal band that was very gothic, in my opinion. Was Typo Negative.
Okay.
They were big in the 90s, and oh my God, yeah, they had so many songs about vampires, you know.
And horror fans know that vampires is sort of a romantic horror genre, right? You know, it could be very seductive and very, you know, it's a different kind of monster, right? Compared
to vampire movies I like and vampire movies I don't like.
Right. Well, and then if you go even later, let's see, you know, when Tom Cruise played Lestat in the Interview with a Vampire, they have the Stones playing at the end of the movie when he hops in the car, and they have Sympathy for the Devil, I think, playing at the end of the movie, and he's in some kind of convertible. So, and he, you know what? Now that I think of it, because I will tell you that I've read most of what she's ever written. If you read, which I did, most of the Anne Rice series, the first book, Interview with a Vampire, I think, did not take off, but it was written in the late 70s. So she didn't become popular until maybe a decade or decades later. But the later books, when her hero in the books, Lestat, he forms a rock band. And he becomes, in this sort of alternate universe, he's a very popular rock star, but he's really a vampire. And here she is, she probably wrote that. I'm going to guess the second one, maybe in the late 80s or something like that. So it's a little later, but you know, mixing it with rock and roll, I don't think she did it in the first book, but if she did, now we're only in the 70s, and she's literally mixing the vampire genre, which was her take on, you know, Dracula.
And I'm trying to think about the 80s, you know, Kiss takes off their makeup and Twisted Sister puts theirs on.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah.
So, you know, again, elaborate costumes, heavy music.
I mean, Dee Snider did a horror movie. What was that called?
He did do a horror movie. I forgot what it was.
Scott. It was like early 2000s. He was the.
He didn't write it. He was just in it.
He acted in it, I believe.
Yeah. He was in it.
Yeah. Well, he's a compelling looking dude. He's a big dude. He's kind of weird looking, but he's got a presence about him.
I saw Meatloaf in like a horror movie where he makes a meat vest and stuff. That was it was like a little made for TV thing. I gotta find that. Masters of Horror. He was in a segment.
Yeah,
where he ends up wearing he ends up making a vest out of a person.
Nothing wrong with that.
He actually did a really good job acting in it.
He's I think he was a real actor though. Like he did Shakespeare in the Park and things like that.
Yeah. Oh, really?
I think so. I think he was actually here. If I have the trivia right, he was acting, I think, in Central Park, and he was discovered by Richard Gere. I think.
We have all kinds of unchecked facts.
Well, let's see. I got this down. Let's see.
Start a rumor. Who cares?
Yeah, I'm just making this shit up.
It's better than AI.
I heard a rumor.
Well, AI is really getting.
I'm looking this up.
Right.
I mean, Rob Zombie. Directs horror movies.
Yeah, he's on a whole nother level.
Yeah,
you're gonna talk about connecting horror with music. He's in the conversation.
Oh, absolutely. And his soundtracks too. His soundtracks are great. And you could, if you search like Rob Zombie soundtracks to any of his movies, like it's a solid soundtrack. Like it's a great playlist. Like,
yeah, it's not the John Carpenter type thing where he wrote a lot of stuff on keyboards.
Yeah,
definitely. I wouldn't call it rock
songs.
Right?
Yeah,
these are actual rock songs.
And then it's not a horror movie, but The Crow. It's like a superhero movie, but it's gothic.
That's true. Yeah.
But that soundtrack had a lot of metal bands on it. 9 Inch Nails, Pantera.
Right.
And so there's that connection I always liked is, sometimes it's just a soundtrack,
But I think clearly Ozzy's been doing it for years, and he just stepped up his game, and it getting more and more elaborate. I mean, that Wolfman costume he wore in video, Bark at the Moon was like, that was studio grade, high end. Yeah. So I don't know who did his makeup for that. Any clue? Was it Savini or Rob Bottin or any of those guys?
I'm sorry, I'm losing you guys.
So
I'm still
good,
trying.
It has to be somebody.
It's probably somebody that knew what the hell they were doing. They didn't just hire some schlub to pull that off.
Yeah, that was like a little horror movie he did,
It was.
With the band every now and again. Oh, I love that video.
And then Michael Jackson's, Thriller thing.
Yeah, that was great.
Music's been married to horror and for a very long time. Longer than after I started to think about it, it's been around a lot longer than we realized.
Oh yeah.
Now it's like inseparable, right? I mean, any modern day horror movie has heavy metal music in it.
Automatically. By the way, nothing to do with Richard Gere and Meatloaf. I was wrong. But AI seemed to know that it's a rumor, but it's an untrue rumor. So
Richard Gere discovered me.
He did.
But I haven't taken him up on these shows yet. I actually said to my one, I'm old now, but when I'm a really old man, I want to get an acting job over there in the new Netflix studio where I just get to sit in a chair and go, and that's it.
You'd be so good.
Get my SAG card just so I could sit there and, Dad, what do you think? Maybe have 2 lines.
No, you only need that. That's all you need.
That's it.
Yeah.
Just sit there and be grumpy.
I like that. I like that a lot.
And since I'm going to be a grandfather soon.
Oh, that's right.
Might as well.
I'm just thinking of, even though it's not horror, what was the movie Queen did the whole soundtrack?
Oh, they did Flash, and they did a movie called Highlander.
Right.
They did Highlander?
Yeah. So
all right. Yeah. I know they did Flash. And that's
what News of the World cover is pretty cool, where they're killing the guy and there's blood.
Yeah, that's true.
Right there.
Yeah.
You're not buying that record. The man's got blood coming out of his chest. Are you crazy?
Did you guys see the Family Guy with News of the World?
No.
Oh,
I'm sure
wonderful.
I did actually, but
it's so wonderful. What's the dog's name again?
Brian.
So Brian is scaring Stewie by just showing him that cover of that blank face of the robot-looking guy, and Stewie is. You got to put that on the screen.
Queen News of the World. Check it out. Ah! Whoa, what's the matter?
What the hell is that? A killer robot monster?
Oh, it's News of the World. It's an album by the band Queen, see?
Ah!
Stewie, relax.
No, Brian, you keep that thing away from me. Is it looking at me? Can it see me?
Man, you're really scared of this thing, huh?
Does it eat little boys?
I don't know, maybe, if it's hungry.
Ah! Ah! Ah!
Stewie is just. It's really funny because it gives you a whole different perspective on that cover art. Because I own that album, although my daughter does now. But yeah, but that's more science fiction-y.
Yeah.
But it's still it's freaky nonetheless. It truly is.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the art on those covers back then was so fascinating when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And it was like I wanted to see the movie that robot was from. I wanted to I wanted to know like what happens. Like
Yeah, you really do.
Yeah, your imagination just goes with that stuff.
There
Iron Maiden always had fantastic album cover art with
They
Eddie.
did.
You know, and what Eddie's story was, you know.
Yeah.
And that Eddie figure is like iconic as hell, right? I mean, there's nothing more Halloween than him walking around on the stage,
right?
and then
700 feet tall,
right? And then we have to cross genres now.
Okay,
I just realized Thriller.
Yeah.
It didn't even occur to me. And Eddie played on one. Didn't Eddie play on one of the tracks, or was it a different album? A different album.
It was on the album Thriller.
That is on Thriller?
Yep,
okay.
It's on Thriller, yes.
Okay. So we could call it a little bit rock, but they're overtly they've got zombies,
Yeah.
So they made a decision to bring a rock guitar player into a pop song like that.
Into a pop song. And
by the way, Steve Lukather played most of the guitars on that stuff.
Did he?
Toto,
Yeah.
I love Steve Lukather.
Yeah, it's Toto's best album.
Yeah.
Van Halen just literally mailed in the solo. He wasn't even in the same studio.
He didn't even get paid. He was very proud of the fact that he didn't get paid for that.
Supposedly didn't get paid, yeah.
That's what he says. He wants to look like a good guy. I hear him in the interview. He's like,
Michael Jackson was always ripping somebody off for some reason. He tried to rip off Paul McCartney with his music and didn't pay Van Halen. What's with that guy?
I don't know. Look at this.
Kel and I always got paid, right, Kel?
Look at my can opener here. Am I doing it right?
What are you, a 60-year-old can opener?
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
but I'm 61. I'm an old fart.
That was quite the little party we had for you.
Yeah, it is. Scott made me cry at my birthday.
I did.
Oh,
and I'm not kidding. He presents one of the earliest guitars I owned in my guitar playing ownership career at Seagert Music. I got a Westbury. It was beautiful. It was sort of an SG-ish guitar, and over the years I traded and moved on to other stuff because I had no money. And I'm at the party, and Scott made this amazing video. It's on YouTube. You could do the link if you want. And it's a good video with all my friends and a lot of the Guitar Tales people chiming in. And then he sneaks behind me, and he had bought and then really beautifully set up a wonderful Westbury guitar.
Oh, wow.
And I just lost it. I'll admit it. I lost it. Like I was like, I mean, my face was soaked.
Wow.
It was a really beautiful gesture.
Because on the video, I'm going, hey, what do you think of this guitar? Isn't that great? And I'm like, you know what? It's yours. Turn around.
Oh my God.
So it was like I kind of somehow did live action and the video, and he was really confused. He was looking around like, I'm supposed to turn around. What am I supposed to do right now?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And then I got it, and I just
cool.
It was all over. It was very, very nice moment. All right, Scott. Try to bring that back to Monsters.
I will.
Let's hear it.
Favorite old ass horror movie. Or
old one. Movie. I mean, is 70s old?
Yeah, I mean you could go back
then
to
it's
the 30s really if you want.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre, #1 always.
Ooh.
Commercial for that when I was a kid scared the shit out of me.
Yeah, I mean everything scared. Everything. The movie poster scared me.
Yeah.
That's it. That
was pretty. That when it came out was way beyond, like, people are saying there's too much violence in the movies and this is the top of the top. This is crazy.
That was over the top.
It
for
holds
time.
up.
This has got to be banned.
Yeah,
Your kids, don't send your kids to see this movie, which is what they said about one of my favorite movies of all time, Night of the Living Dead, 1968.
Yeah.
George A. Romero gets together with a bunch of his pals and they go to Pittsburgh and they start with a shoestring budget making a movie about people coming back to life, and it's started the entire zombie genre as we know it.
Yeah. All right, so I got a medium old one and a really old one. I think my very favorite scary movie was Will Smith. What was his zombie movie he did?
Legend
was truly terrifying and gorgeously made, well acted. I know no one on the planet Earth likes him anymore. Literally, like
he's still a good actor.
He's a really good actor. We're just so annoyed with that.
Don't talk about his wife.
Yeah, I know. But so Legend, I think, was maybe my favorite horror movie. But I was a big fan as a little kid of the Abbott and Costello back then. The big budget. They were huge budget. They had musicals. They had monster movies. They got the big stars of the day, like Wolfman versus. I don't think they called it. I think it was Wolfman meets Frankenstein or something. And they were fabulous, and they were really well done. At least, for my 9-10-year-old eyes, they were.
Yes.
So now you're really tapping into my thing, because I'm a huge Abbott and Costello fan, and of course that movie's legendary. I mean, it's the only time they got the original guys, well, except for Glenn Strange playing the monster. Karloff was way too old to play the Frankenstein monster. Yeah. But they brought them all together in the same movie. Like didn't happen before then. Lou Costello hated the script. He's reportedly told his manager or somebody, "My daughter can write a better script than this piece of shit." And it's one of their biggest hits ever. Yeah. But in those days, full orchestration, full makeup, special effects. They brought, they didn't even want Lugosi. They thought he was washed up and too old to play Dracula. Thank God they brought him in to redo Dracula again. Did
they have Vincent Price in that one? I forget.
They had his voice at the end as the Invisible Man in the boat.
Okay.
But Invisible Man was played by Claude Rains prior to that.
Look at you, Scott.
I know my Universal monsters.
You do. That is impressive. That is very impressive.
Yeah, I know. I have facts, baby, facts.
I mean, a side note with I Am Legend, I liked the short story better than the movie.
Really?
It Hollywood made a good. I like the movie,
right?
But it's not the story. If that makes any sense. Like if
it does, I never read it.
Yeah, if you read it, I mean, it takes you like one night to read it. It's like it's like 100 pages.
It's like a short. Is that a Richard Matheson short story? Yeah. So they use that short story to do Last Man on Earth, I think, with Vincent Price as well.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. It was Last Man on Earth, and then Charlton Heston did the Omega Man.
Omega Man. Yeah.
Same story.
Okay.
Same story.
Yeah. Based on the same book.
Yep.
Really?
Same short story.
Omega Man was closer to the story.
Yeah.
To the same story, I Am Legend?
Yeah, I Am Legend.
What's the name of the short story?
I think it's I Am Legend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And Richard Matheson wrote a whole bunch of Twilight Zone episodes and shit.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Along with Rod Serling.
Yeah.
Who's also a genius.
Oh my God.
Writer.
Yeah.
I mean, he's given credit to the end of the Planet of the Apes movie, the first one.
Is he really?
That was his idea to put the Statue of Liberty and all that shit in there at the end.
Oh my God!
Wow.
He wrote the first treatment.
Really?
Yeah.
Look at you with your Hollywood terms. I thought only I knew what a treatment was.
I don't think he wrote the screenplay per se, or he's maybe been credited for writing the treatment of it or something. It's a little complicated because I think somebody else actually wrote the screenplay, but I could be wrong about that.
That's pretty cool stuff, though.
But the music in those movies was very classical oriented.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. But how important is music in horror movies, no matter how old or new it is?
Yeah, it's central. And I guess what we're kind of bringing full circle right now is the notion that, there came up until a certain period of time, there was always music, but it was always sort of that traditional, scary, big classical music.
Right.
And then at some point, And I think we're kind of getting it down to the late 60s. People figured out you can put, electric guitar in there and it would be a similar impact on the viewer and the listener.
Yeah.
Oh, the Moog synthesizer. I mean, that
Oh
was
yeah.
that was an everything.
Yeah.
Right.
Everything had
It's
that.
the cheapest orchestra there is, right?
Yeah.
Instead
It
of hiring
is.
90 people, you get
Yeah.
a keyboard and you could just,
And it sounds sort of.
There's your song.
Yep.
Yeah, that's right. How does that go, Scott?
You heard me. I just watched The Thing. John Carpenter's The Thing. It's loaded with all that Moogie, synthesizer.
Oh, that's
stuff.
a good one too.
Just dun dun, like a heartbeat noise on a lone one note, one freaking note.
Oh.
That's all that plays, one note, and you feel the anxiety building up just from that one note. Or you can go back to Jaws.
Yeah, I was just thinking about Jaws.
2 freaking notes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely
or
brilliant.
Psycho.
What was that?
I'm a human Moog.
You are, Scott. You are.
I'm not in the Moog for your jokes.
That was actually pretty good. That was very good. Yeah.
I had little notes here about horror people. Let's see if we talked about Bo. We talked about Twisted Sister. Marilyn Manson. We may not mention him or her or it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, his first band was Marilyn Manson and the Spooky Bunch.
So
there you go.
Yeah, which I actually saw.
No connection to horror movies whatsoever.
I saw them. It was like they were warming up for Danzig, and it was like some band from Florida, Marilyn Manson and the Spooky Bunch. They were good.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know what? Scooby Dooby Doo, where are you? So Scooby Doo was a 70s cartoon, and they had pop music in it.
Yeah.
And that was supposed to be horror, sort of, kind of.
Yeah, absolutely.
But they weren't doing classical. They were doing.
Yeah. I mean, they were solving mysteries.
Well,
they
before
were.
Guar put on their costumes, you had the Banana Splits. Let's not forget about those guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. They weren't as scary.
Did you see the Banana Splits horror movie?
No.
Was there one?
They took the Banana Splits guys and they're terrorizing.
Oh no.
Terrorizing somebody in an abandoned like amusement park or something.
Okay, that's so
yeah,
funny.
It was pretty spooky.
Oh, that would be good. That would be really good.
I think they were supposed to be robotic or something, but they were trying to kill everybody. Very weird. Very weird. But check that one out. That was very strange, but interesting idea. And then the kings of extravagant giant shows, Rammstein.
Oh God, yeah, right.
With the fire and the costumes and the this and the that. I mean, that's just like crazy over the top. That's probably the biggest stage show I've ever seen.
Oh, it's incredible.
Enormous, right?
Yeah. It's incredible.
I don't think they can play a bar. They have to just do stadiums pretty much.
I mean, yeah. And it has to be outside. It
Massive.
can't be indoors. There's no way.
I'd be scared to death would catch on fire.
Right? Oh my goodness, yeah.
And sometimes these guys do catch. You've ever seen the video of Paul Stanley catching on fire where the pyro sets off his ring?
Oh yeah.
Oh no.
I've been underneath the stage when the pyro goes off.
Oh.
It's hell. It's hot, it's scary, it's loud.
Yeah. They also have the ones you can put your hand on and it looks like fire or something, but it's not.
It's not fire at all.
It's some chemical reaction, but it's cool. Like it's,
Yeah.
There was also a band, Merciful Fate, and the singer's name was King Diamond.
Right.
And King Diamond would write, he had an album called Abigail, and it was like a whole, kind of rock opera. You know? So, I mean, something that probably could have been made into a horror movie, but it when the more I think about it, there's so many connections like that of bands that are using telling stories or whatever, Marilyn Manson.
And we keep eating it up. I mean, there's no shortage.
Yeah. I mean, the consuming public loves this stuff.
Slipknot.
Yes. Oh God, Slipknot.
Huge, right?
Come on.
I mean, they got costumes and they're playing heavy stuff.
Oh yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
And
and that band, Ghost. I don't know if you've heard of those guys.
I don't know Ghost.
They're more contemporary. They're amazing. they kind of, it's a lot of like occult, anti this, anti church stuff, but they're a great band. But they look spooky. They look really.
Oh, that's
spooky.
interesting.
They all have their masks.
Did you ever mess up any of your record players and records trying to play it backwards to hear the satanic messages?
Yep.
I definitely did. You'd watch that woman, and Kel is on the show.
Yeah.
Did you hear that? Kel is on the show. Do
That's
it again.
right. Carl is on the show.
Yeah, slow it down to learn the riff,
When you do that at your friend's house when you're like preteen and it's a sleepover and it's dark and you're playing records backwards like this is the scariest freaking thing you'll
And there's
ever
like a friend that thinks Satan's gonna show up. He's like, I wouldn't do that. I don't like this.
Did you guys do the Ouija boards growing up?
Oh God,
yeah.
They were scary.
That thing freaked me out too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I put it back in the closet.
That's a crazy. Like I always thought it was hilarious to me that Kiss or Judas Priest would get their chops busted, but a Ouija boards were at Toys R Us.
Yeah, I know it is kind of crazy that somehow we think.
What was the concept for that?
You want a text message Satan here?
My uncle used to invent toys, and that kind of shit used to drive him crazy.
Yeah.
He used to come up with these elaborate ideas for toys, and then some asshole said, "Oh, I'm just going to make this Ouija board. And you just put your hands on it, and all it is a little thing with
cheap piece of plastic.
Cheap piece of plastic with fuzzy feet, and it just slides around."
Yeah, it was brilliant.
How does that even work?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you even sell that?
It's easy. They save money because the ghosts do all the movement.
Oh, yeah.
So they don't have to. You don't need batteries. You don't need any kind of mechanical apparatus. It just calls the ghosts in, and they move.
I'm fascinated, but now I have to look up the origin of the Ouija board. Where did it come from? Who invented it? Was it a Parker Brothers lane brain scheme?
I'm going to make a guess. Old? I'm going to make a guess that there's something to it, like in olden days. And like a Parker Brothers type company thought, let's do our own version of it.
Right.
That's going to be my guess.
I was never able to contact ghosts with the Ouija board, and I could only draw stairs with an Etch-a-Sketch. That was it. Couldn't really do anything more elaborate than that.
Oh, that's great.
And the Mousetrap game I just bought to fuck around with the Mousetrap.
It never worked. It never worked. It was so disappointing.
Rube Goldberg type of thing.
I don't know the Mousetrap game.
Oh yeah, it's pretty crazy. We'll show pictures of it right now.
Yeah. Oh, I like the way you did that. That was good. For our viewers, we're not seeing what you have just seen.
Yeah, if you're listening to this, by the way, we're available on all podcast platforms. You can listen to Dave's golden voice.
Yeah.
But if you want to see,
I'll bring the mic closer.
Amazing hair. You'll have to watch the show on YouTube.
Yeah. Well done, Scott. Because Scott and I, we were challenged. We donated everything to Cal. He owes it all to us.
That, guys.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah. So I think we probably,
we had a nice chat.
And we've solved
just like that. We went through 50 minutes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
We've resolved we have answers. Anyone who listens, anyone who watches now knows with specific detail the connection between rock and roll.
Richard Gere.
Never mind that
our
one.
Show.
Yeah. AI basically said, "Fuck you, this isn't true." That's like when I pulled it up, they're like, "Are you an idiot?" No, they don't even have a connection.
AI can be wrong.
Yeah, they can. But I was wrong. I'll admit it. I will admit it. So.
Well, how you want to end this show? You want to end the show with a guy that's in costume?
Yeah, let's do it. Let us do it. And thank you, Kel, for joining us. By the way, you were
thanks
great.
for having me.
Kel,
I really appreciate
it. Coming on, chatting with us.
Yeah.
I also want to mention that our good friend Phil X is going to be touring with Bon Jovi again, coming to the Madison Square Garden. You've heard of that silly place. They'll be there 4 nights, and maybe we can hang out with Phil. I don't know, Dave.
That would be fantastic. I would love that.
Yeah, and Tico is supposedly retired, and now is not retired anymore.
Yeah. He's a 3-timer, Phil X, right?
Yeah,
not a 2-timer. I think we've gotten it 3 times.
A few times.
Yeah.
I'm in contact with him every once in a while.
He's great.
Wish him happy birthday and Merry Christmas and stuff like that. I don't badger him too much.
Yeah.
But be cool to see them on the road.
It would be very cool.
Yeah.
Doing their thing.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So that's it for tonight. We'll end the show with Big Daddy Abel, the Amish Outlaws, dresses up like an Amish guy every night of the week.
There you go.
And their cover of Queen is so good it might get sniffed out, but we'll see what happens.
We'll do our best. Yes.
It's one. We played this bumper 10, 11, 20 times. Once it got sniffed out, and we haven't been able to use it since.
Because they're that good.
But I'm using it again.
All right.
I don't care.
You're brave. You're counterculture, Scott.
Speed it up a little.
Yeah.
Slow it down or speed it up.
Yeah.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.
I'm number 2. I'm number 2. No, I was the second. That's right. I was the second one. The second on Guitar Tales, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching it right now. I'm Big Daddy Abel, the Amish Outlaws. I gotta go back to work. Here we go.